We're delighted to be joined by Bob Corran, the ex-athletic director at Vermont. Bob, I would say welcome to Belfast, but you've been here before?
Well, it's been a few years, but this was where I was born, and it really is just great to be back. Just wonderful.
You left Belfast, or Northern Ireland, and you spent your years growing up in Canada. And it's a little bit different than what it was in Belfast. You got to pick up ice hockey and make that your main sport.
Yeah, it was. I was really behind the curve in terms of learning hockey in Canada, because most kids there start when they're 4 or 5 years of age. I didn't have a pair of skates on until I was 10 years old, but it was a great game, and just loved it, and really was a big part of my professional career.
And from that, you found the love of ice hockey, and you sort of turned it into a career. You played hockey at a reasonable level. You went to college, and then you ended up as the athletic director at Vermont, where you spent 13 years.
Well, there was a lot in between that too. And one of the things that has happened over the years, we've really bounced back and forth between Canada and the U.S. a number of times. I grew up in Canada, went to school in the U.S., came back and taught in Canada, went back to school in the U.S., and then have been back and forth a couple of times since. But certainly the last 13 years at Vermont have been wonderful, and it really is. It was just a great place to finish my career, and a great place for our family to enjoy the wonders of Burlington, Vermont.
You brought in Kevin Snedden along with you in 2003 when you started at Vermont, and Kevin is still the head coach, getting into his 14th year, and he seems to be very. I was talking to him on Tuesday, and he was saying that he's obviously built a success along that time, and very happy with the way things are progressing on ice for his team.
Yeah, actually, Kevin was the first hire that we made. After I took the job. In fact, I hadn't really started the job in Vermont. I was still finishing out my duties at the University of Minnesota in Duluth when Mike Gilligan, the former coach, decided he was going to retire. So we had a big hire right away, and Kevin really was the clear choice.
You have had quite a number of players from Vermont in the last decade that have made that step up to the show, the NHL. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, that's a wonderful way for those who have the ability to continue their careers professionally. And certainly we've had a number who have played in the NHL, had a number who have played in the minor leagues, a number who have played in Europe. And each of those experiences really are invaluable. But it's the preparation for the years after hockey, whether that ends at the end of your collegiate career or if it ends after a professional career, that's really where they're going to spend the bulk of their time. That even those who do have an NHL career, they still have 25 or 30 years to figure out what it is they want to do after they grow up after that. So that's where we think the real value in intercollegiate competition is, that it's that preparation for life, and that life after hockey, whether that be immediately after college or if it's sometime beyond that.
You were instrumental in the decision for Vermont to come to Belfast and participate in the Friendship Four.
Well, when the first tournament was completed, we really felt that this would be a wonderful opportunity for our student athletes. So we did our best to do what we can to see if Vermont would be one of the schools to be selected for the second tournament. And we're very fortunate and very appreciative of the fact that the league decided that Vermont would be a good representative, along with UMass, of Hockey East. So we're, as I say, very appreciative of the opportunity, and I really do think that this is going to be one of the things that our student athletes will remember forever, and the experience of being here in Belfast. And one of the things that we wanted to make sure was that when the athletes came here, that they simply weren't coming as tourists for a week and then leaving, but rather that they really had an understanding of what life was like in Belfast. So that they've all taken a course on Irish history and specifically around the history in Belfast and the issues that Belfast has faced and the North has faced over the past number of years.
Bob, listen, thank you very much for your time. It's very much appreciated. We hope you enjoy your stay in Belfast and obviously your hometown of Cumber in the next couple of days. Good luck to Vermont this week, and thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure.